BABBA.
How many times tonight have you said McKnight was right?
I am so pumped for McKnight Tonight.
See if you can work out why it infuriated me. You know I will get hate for speaking to you. Oh, speaking of Rant.
Welcome to McKnight Tonight. Now, here's Rob McKnight.
Hello and welcome to McKnight Tonight for this Thursday, the 6th of November. It's Tipsy Thursday. I hope you've got your drink. I've gone for a bit of a bourbon today. What are you drinking? Let me know in the comments section. You know what goes well with a bourbon? Well, probably doesn't, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because it's National Nacho Day. So, Amanda, what do you reckon? Nacho and bourbon?
Gin and tonic and nachos. That sounds good.
Oh, okay. We're really fancy here in the McKnight.
We don't have any, I don't think, but we'll buy some.
Yes, absolutely. So grab your chips, pile on the cheese and settle in for a spicy mix of headlines, opinions and entertainment. Exactly what you've come to expect from McKnight Tonight. Now, before we get into it though, a quick poll. Actress Jennifer Lawrence, she says celebrities don't make a difference on who people vote for. Do you agree with her? I want to find out. So I've set up a poll on the YouTube page in the live feed of this video. Just go to youtube.com/@McKnightTonight and you'll see that live poll. You can let me know. And I'll take a look at the results later in the show. I'll share my thoughts on this one as well when I look at your results. And while you're there, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. You need to be a subscriber for 5 minutes to be able to comment. And as soon as you've been a subscriber for 5 minutes, you can comment, you can be on the show, and we want to hear new voices. We want to hear more voices. We love our community, but they're always eager to hear more voices too. So make sure you hit subscribe and tap the bell, because that'll notify you whenever we go live and when I upload videos, and you can join the live chat. I'll be checking your comments throughout the show. All right, coming up on this edition of McKnight Tonight. Well, they must be eating spicy nachos in Canberra because our pollies are turning up the heat, with senators accused of skipping question time for gym time. Comedian John Oliver takes aim at police chasers, calling them too dangerous for TV or real life. Then in Rob's Rant, Jelly Rolls Meltdown in Sydney. He says he was treated like a criminal in a Louis Vuitton store. Maybe that's because of his appearance. Later, we'll lighten things up with the Aussie tribute icons BABBA. They're still belting out ABBA classics after 30 years on the road. And we'll make sure to fit in a back-end quickie with a brand new opener. All right, let's get into our hot topics. Question time. It's supposed to be the heartbeat of accountability in our parliament. But this week, it's descended into farce, with claims that some senators are skipping the chamber to hit the gym or catch up on office work. Now, it all started when Labor was accused of burying a long-awaited Jobs for Mates report. That led to independent Senator David Pocock pushing a motion to extend question time so that Labor can face more scrutiny. Well, Labor didn't like that one bit and hit back at senators who don't turn up to question time if they don't have an allocated question. Yeah. So in what appears to be a thinly veiled swipe at Pocock, Labor claims too many senators are treating question time like a gym session. Turn up if it suits, skip if it doesn't. And while the jab didn't directly name Pocock, it's exposed a deeper truth. Question time has become optional for too many of our representatives. Now, there's obviously games being played here. Labor doesn't want to be transparent. They're trying to come down on freedom of information laws. They're making those harder and more expensive. And they're also now saying that because Pocock pushed for more transparency in this Jobs for the Mates report, and that he wants it released, Labor have come back trying to attack, and Pocock actually also got more questions extended into question time with the help of the crossbench and other senators. And Labor didn't like that one bit. But despite the fact Labor are being really nasty by trying to get back at him, and I like Pocock, but if it is true that he and other senators skip question time if they don't have an allotted question, so the claim is that they don't have an allotted question, and when they don't in a session of question time, they go, oh, there's no point in me being here. I'll go off to the gym or I'll do other work. Well, I actually don't think that's right. Even if you don't have a question, the whole point of question time is to hold the government to account, to ask questions of representatives. And so basically, you should be there to hear the answers. Now, I know you can get transcripts later on and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's your job as a representative to be a representative in the chamber during question time. It's one of the most important elements of our democratic society. And I don't think you're doing your job if you're not there. I really like David Pocock. I think he's done a lot of good. He's cutting through the crap. He's asking lots of good questions. He does great research. I'm a huge fan. But if he is skipping question time to go to the gym, he's got it wrong and he needs to change his behaviour now. Someone like Pocock needs to be better than the rest. He is basically holding everyone in that chamber to account. But to do that, he needs to be beyond reproach. So he needs to stop it at the gym. He's muscling enough. He can do it later. And he needs to get in there. And even if he's not asking questions or have a question allotted to him in that session, he and every other senator need to be there. And on that, I do support Labor's idea to have an attendance call to see who is and isn't in question time. They might have done it for the wrong reasons, but the outcome is actually a good one. Let me know your thoughts. And Jasmine, there might be some scripts sitting on a printer that I haven't given myself. If you could bring them over, that would be great. And maybe, Amanda, run a long sting. I pulled back the curtain.
We've invited you here. You don't need to apologise for your story or for what you're saying. I heard the yapping. There was a lot I didn't understand about myself until I had that diagnosis. Don't get the shitties with me. Oh, Guy, no, that's Guy.
Funny insightful interviews from a washed-up producer with nothing to lose. McKnight Tonight, McKnight Tonight. Here comes McKnight Tonight.
Okay, now that I've got my scripts, we pull back the curtain and let you know what's going on here. All right, moving on. And comedian John Oliver has taken aim at police pursuits in the latest edition of Last Week Tonight, saying they're dangerous and the practice should be stopped in most cases.
And while fleeing drivers are usually depicted in movies and TV shows as violent criminals, in real life, that is rarely the case. Researchers found roughly 90% of pursuits are initiated because of traffic violations. And the reasons people tend to flee are often relatively mundane, from their licence being suspended, to being on probation, to simply saying they feared the police. And this combination of high-stakes chases over low-stakes infractions has resulted in situations like this: totally preventable tragedy in Georgia.
Larry Turner still can't believe his best friend of 30 years is gone.
I lost my brother.
60-year-old William Johnson was killed Sunday just before noon as he waited on a red light at McAfee and Candler. That's when this speeding SUV came out of nowhere and crashed into him. Turner was floored when he learned a Georgia State trooper was chasing the driver of the SUV for a seatbelt violation.
It's just not worth losing a life or even being injured. It's just not worth it. Over a seatbelt?
Exactly, because that is absurd. The whole point of a seatbelt law was to keep people safe on the road, so it's more than a little counterproductive to then enforce it by turning the road into a fucking NASCAR track. And that is not a one-off. Of the fatal chases the Chronicle was able to review in depth, over 1,500 people died in pursuits initiated over traffic infractions, non-violent crimes, or indeed no crime at all.
Yeah, look, I've got sympathy for the idea that someone not having a seatbelt on should not relate in the death of a bystander. I absolutely agree with that. But there's a problem here in the idea that if you say, we're not going to do police pursuits, then these criminals know. I have a problem that if you're pulled over by the police, you think it's okay to take off. Well, okay, it might be over a seatbelt. It might be over a tail light. It may be over a lapse in registration. But you're still taking off from the police. And then the big question becomes, why? Why are you taking off from the police? Well, you don't take off from the police for no reason. And look, Oliver, well researched, and I love Last Week Tonight. I learned so much watching that show. But on this topic, I absolutely disagree with him and his conclusion, because I fear that people run for a reason. And it's not perfect. And the States is very different to us. We are more cautious in the way we do things here in Australia. And in America, things like fear of the police, especially for black people, and that's valid. I've seen a lot of videos where black people are pulled over by police and treated appallingly because of the color of their skin. We don't have that in Australia to that extent. I'm sure we have it on some level, but not to that extent. But the problem with this idea is I'm going to put it in different terms. So I've pulled up some research here. So in 2014, California passed Proposition 47. So what it meant was that it reclassified many non-violent felonies as misdemeanors to the value of stolen property, $950 or less. What that ended up doing, people would go into stores and steal up to $950, and the owners really couldn't do anything because the police didn't really want a bar of it. It became such an issue that while the proposition still remains in place, it was modified, and I'm sorry, I'm having to read this off so I get it right. There were modifications and new laws have been introduced to tighten some of its effects, especially in response to concerns about retail theft. Now, the reason I mention that is because as soon as you say this is the bar, people will go all the way to it. So if you automatically say, we won't do police pursuits unless we think the person is a murderer, a sexual predator, or this or that, well, then people know, well, hang on, if he's booking me for a traffic fine, boom. Especially, we know we've got a youth crime crisis. And so if you're a kid and you're pulled over by the police, and we know they know every trick in the book when it comes to what the police can and can't do, they're going to say, I don't want to get in trouble, I'm going to run. Now, you might say, well, they might run, but if they're being chased by police, they're going to drive dangerously. They're going to try and avoid, and I accept that argument. But where do we draw the line? Those kids, if they're tracked down by police and caught, hopefully in a safe manner, then they might be off the streets. But if they're let to get away, they get to do it again and take someone else's property. And just because you let them go does not mean they won't cause some kind of terrible tragedy. No, I do think police chases are a tool of the trade. Now, do police need to take responsibility if someone's hit? Absolutely. But I think we need to be a little wary about saying, oh, no, it's outrageous. We need to get rid of them.
Here comes McKnight Tonight.
You know what? You'll need a drink. You'll need a drink, and I'll need a drink so we can all calm down after I've had a rant. Well, US country rap singer and star Jelly Roll has sparked headlines after claiming he was treated like a criminal inside a Louis Vuitton store in Sydney. He says the staff looked at him like he was about to rob the place. Now, this is part of the video he posted on Instagram.
Hey man, the Louis Vuitton in Sydney legitimately just treated us like we were finna come in there and rob that place. I have never been looked at more like a criminal. Listen, the last time I was looked at like a criminal this bad, I was an actual criminal this bad.
Maybe that's why they looked at you like a criminal. This is sort of the point, isn't it? He was a criminal previously, and he's tattooed head to toe. He walks into one of the most high-end boutiques on the planet, and that's a nice photo of him. And then he acts shocked that people judge him based on how he looks with all those tats. And look, I am all for redemption, but you can't spend years cultivating an outlaw image, prison stories, face tattoos, rap rock swagger, and then get offended when society treats you accordingly. That's not prejudice, that's perception. The truth is, in our society, appearances do matter. They always have. Whether you're applying for a job, stepping into a boardroom, browsing a luxury store, people make judgments in seconds. Maybe it's not fair. Maybe it's not ideal, but it's human culture. You know, I've said to my kids, please get as many earpieces as you want on your ears, but don't do your nose and your tongue and, you know, and eyebrows and stuff like that. And they're like, why? That's really old thinking. And maybe it is. But I know that I still place judgments on people that do that. I'm 52 years old. Maybe I'm just that angry old white man. I don't know. But I've worked with people that have nose rings. Lovely, really professional. I didn't treat them any differently. But when I first met them, I was wary. And I was like, okay, are they going to be up to the job? I put perceptions onto them. Now, come at me. You can say, how dare you? You shouldn't be judging people like that. But that's what we do. That's who we are as humans. You can't tell me you've never seen someone walk past and not made a judgment ever in your life. Anyone who says that is full of BS. So maybe Jelly Roll should spend less time blaming sales assistants and more time realizing that his looks tell a story, one that he chose to write, one that he feeds off. He was a criminal. He's become a major success. He's worth millions of dollars. Good luck to him. He can go into a Louis Vuitton store. I can't. But, well, that's what I tell Amanda. I don't tell her about the hidden finances. If only. Could you imagine? But the fact is, you know, he wasn't in a place where they recognized him for being a star, and he got treated like a normal person. A normal person with tattoos who you're not sure looks a bit shady. It's just the way life is. That's Rob's rant. It wasn't too bad, was it? I just made myself sound like an old man. All right, there is plenty coming up on this edition of McKnight Tonight. BABBA joining us. Yes, the ABBA tribute band. I love these guys. The fact that they have been an Aussie act that have gone around the world, and they met Benny recently. I think it was like 2019. But I want to talk to them about that and their whole career. They're doing more shows, and I'll tell you about that. But they're absolutely fabulous. We may even play a bit of their music because we all love ABBA. And if we can't play ABBA, we'll play BABBA. You know, like they're so good, so good. I mean, has there ever been a better tribute than BABBA? Like, I genuinely don't think there has. Anyway, we'll be meeting them soon, and we'll have a back-end quickie, and I've made up a cool new opener. Well, you'll be the judge of that. But first, and your feedback. Can't forget the feedback. But first, you know what time it is. It's time for our Random Life Shot of the Day.
It's the Random Life Shot of the Day. Where are you going today? You'll never know where you'll end up with the Random Life Shot of the Day.
And tonight, I thought we'd head back to Hawaii for an update on that volcano. It's one of the most active in the world. When we last checked in on Monday, the lava flows had slowed, but you can still see that faint glow from the vent areas around the crater. Now, the US Geological Survey says the summit continues to inflate, which means pressure is building again, and another eruptive episode could be just around the corner. We might just be on volcano watch. How about that? We just do volcano watch. Oh, it's coming out of my head. That's me during rants. It'd be maybe if I could just get it coming out of my ears. A bit too close to the truth there, Amanda. All right, let's have a look at the feedback coming through to McKnight Tonight. And we were talking about what kind of drinks you're having. Jeanette's having a Scotch whiskey. Well, Jeanette, cheers, because I've got the bourbon going, and Own Your Own Crazy says he's on the hard stuff. Well, yes. Dylan says, will Rob be talking about the Channel 10 upfronts tonight? Kyle Laidlaw from TV Black Box is actually going. The upfronts are actually happening not too far from me at Dreamworld. We live about, 15 minutes away from Dreamworld. And no, I'm not there. Weirdly enough, 10 don't seem to invite me to their upfronts. And there was no live stream, so I can't talk to it. But he did say that they were talking a lot about how CBS, Channel 5 in the UK, and Channel 10 are like one of the biggest English-speaking content providers in the world. That's not the exact wording, but he'll have that in his articles. So they were leaning heavily into the technical. From the content point of view, there doesn't really seem to be much new stuff. I think there's a couple of new dramas, but pretty much it's a rinse and repeat, which when you're a distant third is a bit of a worry. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll go through Kyle's articles on tvblackbox.com.au. Beck says, do we think Rob is going to talk about the new streaming laws? I will on the next edition of Media McKnight on Tuesday. It's interesting, Beck, the free-to-air broadcasters, and I've talked about this, they didn't want streamers to have content quotas because that will force the prices up of production companies, the facilities that all the broadcasters use, the production companies they do deals with. The free-to-air networks were concerned it would force the prices up. Darren Murphy says, look, when Paul Keating told the opposition leader, I'm just going to do you slowly, that's when Question Time turned into a farce. Yeah, it is interesting. They come down harder these days. I don't think Paul Keating would have got away with that these days. Mum's there. She's having a cup of tea. Not on the Bacardi and Coke tonight, Lynn, hey? Why don't you get on the Backers and Coke? Nicole says, how many drinks have you had, Rob, before the show for getting the script? Do you know what? I have not had a drink all week. This is my first drink of the week. Pick your jaw up off the floor, Amanda. It's true, though, isn't it? Only because we ran out. But I hadn't had a drink, but it was weird. Sometimes we're doing things right up until the show goes to air. And I literally sat down and we came on, and it was so weird. It was only halfway through that first topic where I suddenly went, I'm thinking something doesn't seem right. And I did a quick look down and I went, I don't have scripts. How am I going to get them? Because those 5-second stings are not enough time for me to race to the printer. So I just had to be honest. Darren says, as much as I agree with you, Rob, police will not even chase stolen cars here in Cairns. They just let them go here. And that might be their philosophy. Look, the things John Oliver said in his program are true, and things can happen. I just have an issue with letting crooks go. Mikey Spikey says, I don't think it's too much to ask elected officials to attend an average only 67 hours of question time a year. Members that taxpayers are paying good money every year to do their job. I completely agree. Now, look, they do a lot more. And I do think it is tough being a politician. We talk about their perks and all that kind of stuff, but they're constantly flying in and out of Canberra. They do more than just the sitting weeks. So I do have sympathy for that, but I think question time is the one thing they all should be there for. And of course, votes. Philip says, the amount of shopping centres, Woolworths, Coles, thieves that I have seen walk out of stores with meat and other electronic chargers, power banks, etc., is huge, and security can do nothing. No, that's the problem. We now live in a society where you really can't pull people into line for that kind of stuff. Thank you, Darren. Own Your Crazy says, remember that scene in Pretty Woman when the assistant in the dress store refused to serve Julia Roberts because she attended the store in her everyday prostitute wardrobe? Yes, it was the famous, he goes to put a hand in. Oh, no, this is after when he does that. But no, she comes back and says, big mistake. Big mistake. Nicole says, it happens that high-class shops do judge people. I went into Tiffany's ready to make a purchase. No one came near me. A well-dressed man walked away. A well-dressed man walked in. They were all over him. I was wearing office clothes. Well, they're lost. They're lost. And look, I've experienced it. I remember staying at the Langham in Melbourne when I was working for Channel 7 in the early noughties. And I was down there and I wasn't dressed up, but I came out and the concierge was helping everyone else and wasn't helping me. And I was just like, I'm not that dressed down, for God's sake. But yeah, it does happen. But when you've got the tattoos under the eye, I don't know, it does make a difference. All right, keep your feedback coming. I'll see if I can pull up. Hang on, where's my mouse? How's the voting going? Do celebrities make a difference on who you vote for? 14% have said yes so far. 86% have said no. I'll give you my thoughts when we get to the end of the show. We've got a back-end quickie coming with a brand new sting. But first, let's get into our feature interview.
We've invited you here. You don't need to apologise for your story or for what you're saying. I heard the yapping. There was a lot I didn't understand about myself until I had that diagnosis. Don't get the shitties with me. Oh, Guy, no, that's Guy.
Funny and insightful interviews from a washed-up producer with nothing to lose. McKnight Tonight, McKnight Tonight. Here comes McKnight Tonight.
Well, ABBA brought us music that will never die, even if they're not performing anymore. But the Aussie tribute band BABBA is still going strong with performances like this. And after performing those hits for more than 30 years, BABBA looks set to keep entertaining us with a string of new tour dates. And I'm thrilled to be joined by band members Michael Ingwersen and Susie King. Welcome to McKnight Tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Rob.
Look, Susie, can you still believe you're still doing this after 30 years and making a living from it?
Yes and no. Yeah, it's bizarre that this is what I do, but it's also when you get out into the audience and you see the crowd and how fanatical they are and they want it still, it's just awesome. So I'm happy to keep doing it.
Of course. Michael, you guys formed in a pub in Richmond, but since then, that was in 1994, I think, there's been a sense, I think, of Australian pride at your success. Are you surprised at the level of fame you've achieved?
For sure, yeah. Like it's been such a great journey and it's just so rewarding. We've done some great things, like the pinnacle is probably performing for Benny from ABBA in Hong Kong. That he came and watched us, and it was awesome experience and nerve-wracking to play my keyboard in front of his hands. The man who wrote the song "Winner Takes It All," and go, "Do not stuff this up, Michael." But you know, we've had some great memories playing with orchestras and all sorts of the universities. Students love us, and it's such a joy to do this music. It's such great pop music, and we hopefully bring it to audiences in a respectful and beautiful way, almost like ABBA, we hope.
Well, you certainly do. Look, you just mentioned the day that you met Benny and he watched you. We've actually got the footage of that 2019 performance. This is the photo he took with you. So he obviously didn't mind too much because he actually took a photo with you on stage. But let's have a look at the actual performance while we talk, because this is the moment. Susie, there you are singing, and this is Benny coming over. He's not exactly animated though, is he?
He's just taking it all in. He doesn't give much away, the old Benny. But
certainly true. But he got up on stage and he did take the photos with you. Did he say anything about what he thought?
He did. He was walking up on stage and I put my hand out and he said, "That was pretty good." So I'll take that. And then I said, "Can I give you a hug?" And he goes, "Oh, yes, yes." So he let me give him a hug because it was interesting. It was so exciting.
Well, Michael, ABBA has had a place in our hearts over the years, and that's probably why your tribute act, which is so on the money, has enchanted Australians and people overseas. How have your shows evolved over the years, though?
Oh, well, we're always working on it musically and refining and things. It's such complicated music, actually, but people don't realise, which is why it's hard to get it right. And so we feel like we've been really lucky with the girls that we have. Susie and Jackie really matched the vocal sound and style, and range of both Agneta and Frida, and they're able to mimic those accents and the lilt of the way it's sung, and they're continually...
Which is hilarious when I hear you guys speaking with such Aussie accents.
Yeah, it all goes away as soon as we get off stage. But they're always working on it themselves, and I think we've also refined the costumes. We've got a number of new costumes. We've got like 4 different costumes, and they're always hard to get right as well. I actually painted the one that Susie's wearing right now. It took some,
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah, there's a few mistakes, Mike, but...
Oh, no, come on.
You did pretty good.
Pretty good. I mean, I did do art and VCE. Let's say that,
No, what I love about this is, unlike the real ABBA, you guys actually still get on after all these years.
Sorry. We do. That's one of the things that we actually enjoy, and I think it shows on stage, is that we're sort of like a little happily dysfunctional family. So we like each other. We have fun. We have a laugh, and we enjoy it. And it shows through our banter, and then making that connection with the audience as well. And then we're just one big happy family at the end of the night.
Yeah, for sure. And my kids have discovered ABBA. I hear, especially my middle child playing it in the shower. My eldest loves it and loves Mamma Mia, the musical. Their music is transcending. Is that leading to new generations of fans for you guys, Michael?
Absolutely. Oh, it's the university age are all reminiscing about when they were 13 to 15 watching Mamma Mia the movie now. That's their interaction. And so when we, like that footage you saw, that was actually university students, and they're going off. And of course, there's even younger because of the second Mamma Mia 2 and another one coming, and we've played some high school things that went off, and when we go to a theatre and we play all ages right up to the 90s, that everybody loves it.
Were you a little bit worried, Susie, when the holographic show came out in London that you'd be out of a gig?
I thought maybe we could do it too. Then I don't have to go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, not at all. I think people just love that live band feeling as well, experience. Yes. So everyone's playing their instruments. It's a live rock and roll band, really, but delivering the songs as best we can to the record, but live. So that's our goal and our aim,
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Look, let me take people watching through the tour dates, because you have a lot of shows coming up, actually. On Friday, the 7th of November, you're at the Arts Centre in Wyong, New South Wales. The 14th of November, you're at the Veneto Club in Bulleen, Victoria. On Saturday, the 6th of December, you're at the Memo Music Hall in St Kilda. On Sunday, the 27th of December, you're at Bird's Basement, Melbourne in Victoria. Now, you can get tickets from the venues, or I found it so easy. Just go to babba.com.au for all the dates and all the links to tickets. Michael and Susie, I think you guys are great. I wish you many more years of success. Thanks for joining us on McKnight Tonight.
Thank you. Rob. Thanks so much, Rob.
Thanks so much. See you.
Aren't they cool? I actually really liked them. Just the Aussie accents and what they do. All right. I know you've been waiting for it. We didn't get one in last night, so let's have a back-end quickie.
It's time for a back-end quickie.
It's funny that I remembered and I only made it today. I love it. I love it. Okay, all right. Can you play it again?
It's time for a back-end quickie.
You always say I make myself laugh.
Where did this stop?
That's not the right one. I haven't loaded the back end quickly. We played that one last week. It's there if you try to load it. Why don't you play the sting? Oh no, you can't play it again. So I tell you what, Amanda, let's just play the one we read on Monday. She's having a look. I will get to your feedback in a second, but I was so taken with my sting, I forgot to load in to our vMix system. I forgot to load in the actual clip, so Amanda's just having a look for it now. Let's play the one from Monday.
It seems the Christmas shopping bug is hitting a lot of people and some animals.
That's right. Check this out. It's a very curious beaver. A Maryland Sheriff's Office says they got a call from a local store saying the beaver was wreaking havoc in the Christmas section. To see that, well, the Sheriff's Office later tweeted that the beaver was rescued and after long pet sessions, apparently, was released back into the wild.
A lot of beavers in the news lately. Didn't we have a beaver in the news yesterday or the day before? He's going to the aquarium, I think.
Oh, yes.
Jinx.
Apparently they're the most popular creatures right now this time of year. Beaver breeding.
Those little guys are cute and cuddly looking. The beavers I've seen are bigger.
And not.
Yeah, and they don't look as friendly. So I don't know. Maybe I've seen my beavers in the wrong place. Moving on.
Yeah, it's weather time. Let's yeah, this afternoon, not too bad. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Let's go to the maps. There we go.
I really love that. Well, guess what? We've done it. We found tonight's back end quickie. So that was a little replay from last week. Let's have a look at what happens when dogs face each other with the comfort of a barrier. Close the door, Mum. Close the door so we can fight again. All right, let's take a look at some feedback coming through to McKnight Tonight. And we've got this one from Beck. She says, I have to tell you guys, when I was 18, we went to Melbourne just after we went to one of those shops underneath the casino. My father told my mother to get out of the shop. Okay, when I was in university, my girlfriend at the time and our friend, we were at Charleston in Wagga, and we decided to go down to Melbourne. Anyway, we didn't plan anything. We just literally drove down, the three of us. Anyway, we're driving there, and it was my first time to Melbourne, and I saw a sign for St Kilda, and I said, I've heard of St Kilda. Let's go there. We'll find a hotel there. So anyway, we turn up in the middle of St Kilda and we're looking for cheap places. You know, we were uni students. Anyway, I found a place and I went in and I went up to the counter. I said, I'd like to get a room. And she said, how long for? I said, 1 night, thanks. And she said, a night? I said, yeah. And she looked at me up and down and she went, oh, you want the whole night? And I went, yeah. I said, look, and there's 3 of us. So if you've got 2 rooms, she said, we don't. We have 1 room, but it's got lots of beds. And I went, okay. Anyway, so I get the girls, we go into this room. It had 16 beds in it, 16 beds. And anyway, we've opened up the window and we're looking out. There's lots of noise, people coming and going all night. And I'm looking out the window and I see some ladies there and they're going up with men and then they're back there. And then it suddenly dawned on me, oh no, we're in a brothel. And we were in a brothel and the doors were going all night. And at one point in the middle of the night, Cheryl! And my girlfriend said to me, don't open the door, Robert. No, I was robbed by them. Don't open the door, Rob. And I went, no, it's all right. Anyway, I opened the door and there's this guy, oh, where's Cheryl? I know she's in there. And I'm like, mate, she's not in here. Come with me, I'll show you. And anyway, I'm showing him. He's like, I know she's in here. Where's she's hiding? Anyway, this other woman comes up, the lady from the reception. She says, Gerald, get out of there. Cheryl's not there. She's dead, you idiot. So, she managed to take him out, and let's just say we left very early the following morning and found different accommodation. Anyway, Mikey's 79 says, working in retail, we subconsciously judge people on appearance and behaviour. It is based on past experiences. How do we know that Jolly Rolly's behaviour was not unusual? Absolutely. Okay, we've got this one from Leo Stubbing. BABBA is the Aussie tribute act. Bjorn again are the UK, I think. Why is she wearing sunglasses inside? A good question. I thought she was just trying to be theatrical. That's how I took it. Darren says, still have ABBA's greatest hits from 1975 on vinyl. That must be worth something, an original one. Gareth says, the Australian connection to ABBA and even their cover band needs a documentary. Oh, yes. Bjorn again started in 1988 and BABBA in 1994. Both formed in Melbourne. There you go. Thanks, Gareth. Good information. Beck says, ABBA's music has lived on forever. Also, they were the year I was born. Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. We've got this one from Own You're Crazy. One of my earliest memories is of my cousin and I dancing an ABBA concert on TV way back, 1970-something. Yeah, it would have been. Nicole says, my cousin is in Bjorn again, Australia. They are great. She is the dark-haired girl. Okay. Sorry, I just saw a bit. I just saw Matt Podatis. She's dead? Who knows, Matt? Who knows? And Darren says, to be young, fun, and full of things to say. Hey, that brings us to the end of another huge week. Hasn't it been a huge week? We took a week off. We've come back with a bang. It's been a big one. If you're a new subscriber, thanks for joining us. Now, over the weekend, there will be, I will promise, I'm doing a video for the paid members of the McKnight Tonight YouTube page, and I may even... close your ears, Amanda. May even give you a tour of the garage. That's going to horrify him. Oh, she's shaking her head. So I might even show you what the view is like from here, because you will not believe what I see when I'm talking to you at home. Because I reckon this looks pretty good. Not when you face the other one. All right, that brings us to the end. Don't forget, we are back at 9 o'clock on Monday. And I want you all to have a great weekend. Thank you for your support and love as always. And thank you for your feedback. And I just realised the results of the poll. Do celebrities make a difference on who you vote for? 13% said yes, 87% said no. Here's my take. Celebrities can say whatever they want. We're a democratic society. I always find it weird when talkback commentators say, how dare that celebrity say something? Who wants to hear from them? This is from people who literally give their opinions every day. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. They can use whatever platform they want to say it, but we shouldn't necessarily take their advice unless they make a valid point. All right, that brings us to the end. I will see you Monday. It's good night from McKnight. Have a good one, guys.
McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight. It's good night from McKnight Tonight.